We have Triston Brookes, 29 years old, 6'2". He's got a pretty good reach advantage.
You know, all the things that are important in this fight, the height, the reach, and the weight, they're all in Triston Brookes' favor, so he's got a lot of advantages. And plus, you heard that crowd roar when they heard his name being called to walk to the ring. So on top of the hometown support, he's got a lot of physical advantages that'll play fair and in his favor tonight.
T Grizzly crowd tonight.
T Grizzly crowd, for sure. But, you know, you mentioned he's got an extensive amateur career, Steve. He's two-time Canadian champion, boxing for 10 years. He told me that he got into boxing to keep him from fighting on the streets. He's got a Grenadian background, and he wants to be an inspiration for Grenadian and Canadian fighters. Let's go to David Neiman.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the opening bout of the evening. Red Owl Boxing proudly presents 4 rounds or less in the super middleweight division. Our judges for this contest scoring at ringside are Alan Davis, Deborah Wong, and Jeremy Hayes. And once the action begins, the third man in the ring, Mark Simmons. Introducing first, on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, and tonight wearing white, green, and red. His official weight, 163 pounds even. He enters the ring tonight with a record of 1 win against no defeats, 1 win coming by way of knockout. He comes to us from Mexico City, Mexico. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Marlon Perez Juarez. And his opponent on my right, fighting tonight out of the red corner and wearing white trimmed with blue. His official weight, 161.25 pounds. He also enters the ring with a record of 1 win against no defeats, 1 win coming by way of knockout. Hailing from and representing Mississauga, Ontario, here is the amateur standout, Triston Brookes.
Boxers, we went over the instructions in the dress room. Obey my commands at all time. Shorts are good. These are high. Belt line is good. Touch gloves. Good luck to the both of you.
All right, here we go. Our first bout of the evening here from the Owl's Nest. Triston Brookes.
Right off the bat, Triston in his southpaw stance, popping that jab.
Somebody's always got to go. Both these fighters are undefeated, and somebody's always got to go tonight.
And as I've learned over the years, especially being in the gyms in Mexico, just because somebody doesn't necessarily have the perfect smooth smile as we see from Perez winging some wild shots, believe me when I tell you, he's here to win tonight. He's not here to lose, and he'll be swinging for the penches as he landed a couple good overhand rights there.
We see him swing. It's a big, wild, looping rights. Brookes is going to, he's got to settle in. This is just his second pro fight. Got to keep his composure here as Perez Juarez tries to stalk him here. There's a right hand that lands.
And that's the sort of stuff that Triston's really got to be careful for, especially if not being in the ring for 2 years. You cannot be taking unnecessary shots while leaning back like that, especially against a heavy-handed Mexico in Marlon Perez. He's got to stand outside and box beautifully just like that and keep Perez on the outside.
Using the center of the ring would come in handy right about now.
Using that jab, that long jab to control the distance, control his fighters. What do you got to do right now?
And he's got and he should be constantly, as a southpaw, against a tough Mexican with the right hand. He's got to be moving to his right, away from the right hand. So then, realistically, all the threat you only have is the hook, and if you get caught with the hook moving to the right, then you got bigger problems.
Oh, there's a good left hand landed. Left cross right on the chin by Triston Brookes. Brookes, the white trunks with the blue trim. And Perez Juarez from Mexico City, Mexico, with the Mexican colors on his trunks.
Credit to Perez, though, because Triston Brookes is landing a few clean, hard shots. and they haven't even phased Perez.
that one
has
hurt.
his knees buckled there.
A left-right combination. Buckle the knees and down he goes.
That was a short right hook as Perez stepped in. Triston Brookes stepped back and threw that check right hook, and
Stayed in the fire.
Perez couldn't withstand the power of the right hook.
Well, he's got him in some trouble here. Let's see if he can finish this off. He's got about 30 seconds in this round to do it.
Set it up behind the jab.
And that's what Triston's got to remember. He didn't get this by going and swinging wild. He got this by boxing
right.
beautifully from the outside and not rushing and looking for it.
And listen, I'll tell you.
Just like that step back right there, and a beautiful uppercut to the body.
Well done. Real nice bit of boxing here by Brookes. Because
good body shot.
Perez Juarez is a dangerous fighter. You can tell that right hand has some oomph on it if he can land it. But now Brookes has got him in trouble.
Referee Mark Simmons taking a very close look.
And they landed a right hand. And that brings us to the end of round one, and what a round it was.
What a great round, especially with the inactivity of Triston Brookes. He looked very good in there. He boxed well. He didn't rush and try to swing for the fences. He did lean back a few times, which maybe is his Mayweather
the overhand,
style.
right? Yeah. That overhand, trying to catch it on the shoulder.
But when these Mexicans come in, are throwing wild, weird, awkward shots. You got to make sure that chin is checked.
Here's a look at the replay,
and
guys.
Just a short check right hook, like I said. Perez stepped in, and he got hit with that short check right hook. That was a little bit of a pull behind the head there.
He landed two good shots before that hook too, and they're right in the button, and that's what got Perez Juarez in a little bit of trouble there. But after a little bit of a slow start, a real nice finish to round one by
look out for that uppercut finish.
Brookes.
Hey Joe, look out for the uppercut finish. He's setting the jab up and he's swinging that uppercut on the inside.
And he is whipping the uppercut, and he's landed to the head end of the body.
Clean.
What I want to make clear, Francis, he's keeping that chin in the air for one of those wild, weird, awkward shots on overhand right.
You got to keep
from
his hands
Marlon
up.
Perez, and his chin down.
Yep.
And as you mentioned, why not move to your right? Stay away from that power hand. Well, good, there's the uppercut. There's the uppercut. Oh, and he took a right hand.
Showed he got a good chin.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, he is walking in that right hand a little bit, though, moving to his left.
Yes, sir.
There's a good combination by Brookes. There goes the mouthpiece of Perez Juarez.
That was a mouthpiece of Triston Brookes.
Oh, was it?
It was, but until there's a lull in the action, referee Mark Simmons won't stop it, and there is definitely not a lull in the action right now.
Even though he lost his mouthpiece, Triston Brookes, he appears to be in pretty good control here. Now he's going to take a minute to clean that mouthpiece.
Triston, hands up. Hands up, work the jab, go back to the body, kid.
I saw the mouthpiece come out. I just made the assumption it was Perez Juarez.
Taking all the shots. No, it slipped out of Triston's mouth when he was throwing the punches there, but we're back to action. Mark Simmons did the right thing. He waited till there's a lull in the action, and then he gave the corner of Triston Brookes time to replace it.
You got to protect the teeth.
Right. Well, Mark, who is a great fighter in his own right, understands the game, that's for sure. A great referee. He's become an incredible referee.
Triston got to go back to setting up behind the jab. You got to go back to pumping the jab, just like that.
There it is, yeah. Good combination.
Everything off the jab.
Yeah. Oh.
And you can't step back with your hands. You can't step back against an orthodox fighter. That's the rule number one for a southpaw. You spin out to the right.
Oh. He calls it a slip. Okay, that's a slip. But you can tell that there's a lot of bad intentions on that right hand from Perez Juarez.
Like I said at the outset, he's here to fight. He's here to win.
Good combination by Brookes. But Perez Juarez continues to wade in. They call him La Roca, the Rock.
I like Triston going to the body. He's establishing going to the body early in this fight.
He's taking his time. He's looking for those openings, whether it be to the head or the body. He's being very patient.
Yep.
But he's got to be careful leaning back like that with his hands down.
And his chin in the air.
Oh, there's a good uppercut. Another one. Right hand. Oh, there's a great combination.
Perez is hurt.
To the body. Back up to the head. There goes the mouthpiece of Perez Juarez. Oh, no, it wasn't.
It's the accumulation that's going to take Perez out. It's not going to be one shot. When Triston Brookes lets his hands go, it's going to be the accumulation that is breaking him down.
And Perez doesn't like the body shots.
That was a wild round. Let's have a look at the replays here from that round, guys. All right, let's take a look at the replays here from round 2.
I mean, when Triston's boxing the outside, there we see that check hook again. It was a little bit more of a push. I don't think it was I think Mark Simmons made the right call by calling it a slip. It was a pull down.
Although he did land just before he went down. Here it is again. That was a slip. That was a slip, no question. Perez Juarez was off balance at the time, and down he went. Your card after 2 rounds, what are you seeing here, Francis?
Definitely have Triston Brookes in commanding control right now. Definitely leading this fight with the knockdown in the first round. Looking to end this fight as soon as possible.
All right, should this go to the decision, we've got their judges are Alan Davis, Deborah Wong, and Jeremy Hayes tonight. And once again, Mark Simmons, the referee. Here we go, round 3. Scheduled for 4. Both of these fighters 1-0. Both had a knockout in the first time out. And as we've seen so far, they've got a little bit of pop, these guys.
Triston got to get back to setting up that jab. Going to the body. Going back to the body.
He does. And after he lands a 3-4 punch combo like he just did there, he's got to get it or take that angle.
Back to the body.
Because that's the only time that Perez is hitting him is when Triston stands there after landing a beautiful combination. He's got to throw those shots and roll out just like he did back there.
Yep.
Doing a nice job of slipping those wild punches from Perez Juarez.
I think he can turn those uppercuts to the body to uppercut to the head and end this fight. Just like that.
Yep.
And he hurt Perez there.
And he made him pay, for sure.
Like Fran has said, that uppercut, that left uppercut from the southpaw stance, right between those gloves, and he did it again.
Oh!
And hats off to Marlon Perez for taking uppercut after uppercut and still throwing back. But guys, I know the majority of the people here are looking for a knockout and want to see a knockout so bad, but these are good rounds, especially with the layoff that Triston Brookes had. These are the rounds that he needs to get him to that next level of his career. Are these good, tough rounds against a tough Mexican who's not here to lie down.
Go to rounds.
He's doing a really good job of slipping those punches and coming back and countering.
So we got to give some hats off to Gabe and the Red Owl team for putting on a good fight. Not a guy who's going to come here, get hit hard once and lay down. This guy, Marlon Perez, is here to win, and this is getting good rounds for their student in Triston Brookes.
There's that uppercut again by Triston Brookes here in round 3. Final minute now, the 3rd round.
Got to go back to the body.
He does. You got to reach around them elbows. I told Coach Tony Wallace in between rounds, you're going to reach between those elbows and hit that liver, and it'll make a world of difference.
In the words of the great Teddy Atlas, you got to put water in the basement, Steve.
That's right.
Pop that chain. Water in the basement.
Pop that chain, Triston.
Good uppercut there on the inside.
Another hook.
But hats off to Marlon Perez. You know, I mean, Triston's doing what he wants in there, but Marlon Perez is keeping him honest with throwing a wild wing and hard shot once in a while. Just to keep him honest a little bit. So hats off to Marlon Perez because he could have found a way out of here real early in this fight.
He's taking some big shots early on.
Yeah, and you talked about Brookes getting some rounds in, and this is really good for his learning curve. All right, that's the end of round 3. All right, let's go to Francis' scorecard.
Definitely.
Francis, what are you seeing?
After 3 rounds, I definitely have Triston Brookes in commanding lead. He's definitely working that jab early on. He's going to the body. He's going to the body. He's establishing early on in this fight that his jab, his reach, his movement, his agility from side to side is definitely looking to be a problem for Perez.
And you see the beautiful body work early. Even in the 1st and 2nd round, it just makes me so happy when you see a young stud like Triston Brookes doing things that, most guys, it takes them 15, 16 fights to get that championship level where they really start knowing how to dig to the body and see the effects of really taking the life out of somebody when you start working that body from the opening bell.
I asked Triston Brookes before the fight yesterday, I said, is there any fighter that you pattern yourself after? And he said, you know what, I've got my own unique style. I consider myself an artist, and this is his canvas. And right now he's painting a very nice picture, wouldn't you say?
Close that window.
This is the final?
Fourth and final round.
Well, barring a miracle, I mean, all this Triston's got to do is continue to box on the outside and maybe wing a head body shot real hard to the liver of Perez.
Oh, yeah, he's doing a fantastic job of countering with that uppercut. Oh, there's a good left hand.
Triston's really doing well by not engaging in a war with Marlon Perez. He's staying on the outside boxing, and he's landing those hard, effective combinations to the body and to the head.
I'd like to see him this round go back to the body. He's head hunting a little bit. Want him to go back to the body.
Right.
And the finish will come.
He really doesn't need to engage in a war here, as you mentioned, Steve. He's got this fight, I think, totally in control. And, you know, just keep doing what he's doing, because what he's doing is good.
It is good, but you mean as a championship level mentality fighter, you mean you want to put on a show for your people. I mean, he knows this guy can't touch him as long as he boxes smart. But he's got to take some chance and maybe load up, as he does there with a beautiful left uppercut. Would have been money all night, especially from that southpaw stance.
Oh, there's the right.
Got hit with two left hands.
Two overhand rights landed for Perez. He had that chin in the air. That's the only thing I have critical to say about Triston Brookes here tonight. When he goes back and watches this fight, sometimes when he's engaging, he had that chin in the air, and you can't do that because the right hand's coming from when you're in the southpaw stance. The guy's right hand's coming. So Triston, if you watch his back, my man, just make sure and keep that chin down, that hand up when you're going in there on the attack or pulling back straight out, because that's the only time Marlon Perez has had success tonight, is when he got a little bit lackluster with his defense and got hit with a wild looping overhand right.
And I believe Triston is showing that he got heart tonight, standing in there with Perez, giving him some moments, but letting him know that tonight is my night.
Without question, great performance by Triston Brookes.
Head down goes Perez.
And it was the accumulation. It wasn't one big shot. It was 3, 4, 5, 6 that put Marlon Perez down for the count. Referee marks him and waves it off. And not a bad call.
That was a good call. He was really stung by that last series of punches.
He had taken a lot of punishment from the opening bell. Credit to Marlon Perez for staying there tough. But a great performance and a great finish from the hometown boy, Triston T. Grizzly Brookes.
You know, guys, you guys both talked about it, and you know, Brookes could have just stood there and boxed and walked away with an easy, unanimous decision, but he wanted to put on a show for the hometown crowd. Let's have a look back at the replay of that knockdown. Here we go.
Started with the right hook.
And ended with the right hook.
The short uppercut on the inside, followed by a beautiful short check right hook, is what really did the damage to Marlon Perez. You see the hook there. That was earlier in the fight when he caught him behind the head.
Right on the top of the head, yeah.
Here we go.
There's the uppercut, followed by some big, heavy shots, and it was the accumulation from Triston Brookes. It wasn't one big shot.
That was huge.
There was
the uppercut I told you would end that fight. That nice uppercut.
Yeah, great combination, and that was the one that put him, that scored the knockout. All right.
Well, we talked about Triston Brookes putting on a show for his fans tonight. Is it safe to say he did that?
Without question. He boxed beautifully. He hasn't been in the ring. He has been a little bit inactive. He boxed beautifully from the outside, worked the head and the body good, used his angles. A few things critically I could say is, he pulled back a little bit and got a little bit lack on his defense. But overall, great performance considering he hasn't been the most active fighter in the province.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go to David Neiman now with the official numbers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time comes at 2 minutes 34 seconds of the fourth and final round. Referee Mark Simmons calls a halt to the action, declaring your winner by TKO, Triston Brookes.
There you have it, 2:34 of the fourth round. I mean, another 26 seconds, and Marlon Perez Juarez gets the distance. But you know, I think Mark Simmons did a great job there. It was clear that he was in big trouble. It
was a great call on the knockdown and a great performance by Triston Brookes and his trainer Tony Wallace. I know they're in the gym working hard to perfect their craft. And Triston did a lot of good things in there tonight. Boxed from the southpaw stance on the outside. He boxed good, he looked good. Let's hang it up to Triston.
All right, here's George Nacios with Triston Brookes, now 2-0.
All right, we're with your winner here, Triston Brookes. 2-0 now. Your first win. You got the stoppage in the first round. Looked like you might have had it again tonight. Looked like you might have had it. You had some big bombs thrown there. Did you think he was going to get up after that big shot you landed in the first round?
Hey, he was a tough guy, but everybody's a tough fighter in this sport, right? So it is what it is. I did what I had to do. Homeboy's out of here. Let's get on to the next one, yo.
I hear you, I hear you. After he got up, though, it looked like you went for the kill. You're like, I'm not going to let this go too much longer. I don't want to go to the second round. Did you really want to just put him back down again and not go to the second round there?
I took what he gave me. He gave me a hit. I gave it to him. So, you know what it is. We're out here with the work. Brookes' team is out here. My sister, everybody. Just want to say, we on the zone, baby. Keep watching.
Okay, one more for you here. One more. You had the decision probably. You had the 3 rounds. You had the 4th there. But did you want to make sure that you stopped it and didn't have to make it go to decision? Did you want that KO on your record?
Hey, I do this for myself. If he gets KO'd, then he get KO'd. If he goes in a decision, he goes in a decision. But today, he left with a KO, so that's all that matters.
All right, your winner, Triston Brookes. Congratulations.